How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I just wanted to touch base with another video. Uh, Basically, I wanted to talk about the influence of Terence McKenna on me and my ontological makeup. Basically, how I got to this point. Um, let's see, I'm 35 now. I know I look young. Uh, I got interested in psychedelics and phenomenology, ethnography, ethnobotany, plant medicine, you name it, this whole spectrum of knowledge, shamanism, white coat shamanism, holistic care, that whole spectrum of plant medicine healing people in a dimension where we don't understand it as Westerners, because I feel like Western civilization spirit has been exorcised from our existence. We give ourselves away to institutions like scholastic institutions, spiritual institutions, financial institutions. All these institutions govern over us, and then we give pieces of ourselves away to these things. And somehow we think that because we become a part of these things, that they become a part of us, and we start to defy who we are based on existential factors, when in all actuality, from ancient times, people have been using these plants to go inward, and then seeing their divine call, or meeting entities, or talking with spirits, or communicating with the divine, or having grand epiphanies. All these things were happening on a mass scale all across the world, all throughout different epochs in history. And losing our connection with that as Westerners, I feel like, is the base premise for all of our problems. And what I just said, I was oblivious to until I ran across Terence McKenna, right? So I don't even know what I was doing at this point in my life. I have no idea. I know I was like 25 or 24. No. Hold on. I think I said I was 25. I'm 35 now. I'm trying to think back. This is a while ago. No, okay. To remember correctly, I was 21. Okay, I was 21. So I was 21, right? And I think I was home. I came home from a party. I'm trying to recollect, my bad. Excuse me. I came home from a party. I remember I got like a bowl of cereal. And I was surfing the internet at that time. So I'm trying to think of like what was popular at that time on the internet. I think I was watching like Zeitgeist, Kymatica. I was in that realm of knowledge already. So it was like, all right, let's give him something. You know how it suggests things on the side? YouTube was different then than it is now. It's like completely monetized. Ads are everywhere. Net neutrality happened. Like the internet's different now. But before this happened, back then it would have like little suggestions. They still do now, but I feel like it's more algorithmic. That's a word. I feel like it's more center focused on the person now, because it's all intertwined with everything. And it's like, oh yeah, well, you like this, and if you Google something, I know you've seen Social Dilemma, the documentary. If you Google something and then something else will pop up based on your predilections, even if it's incorrect, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. But anyway, so I'm like, and I see like the original tree of knowledge on the side. I'm like, it says the original tree of knowledge, tree line, whatever. You know how you just talk shit about you shit you see on the side, like, yeah, whatever. So I click on it. Then it was this guy talking about stuff I've never heard before. Electronic spin resonance of molecules, stone ape theory, hyperdimensional objects, self-transforming machine elves, which is famous, psilocybin, ecology, hermeticism and alchemy, the intertwining of Mycenaean culture with mestizo Spanish culture, when he was talking about one of his visions. Specifically, he was talking about like intertwined cultures. What if we never went through the subjugation of like the church for 1,000 years, and science and mathematics wasn't suppressed? Like stuff like that. It just, his ideas were everywhere. And I'm like, what? Like, and he got to the point, like he started breaking down like the stone ape theory and like psilocybin. First of all, I've never even heard of anything like this before. Like, especially I've never heard, because he had one theory that I always thought was very peculiar. He thought that the psilocybin mushroom was an alien. like an extraterrestrial, because he said if a civilization is extremely advanced, then they would have access to their own genetic makeup. Think of us, we've only been at it for not even 100 years with the Human Genome Project, and we could do phenomenal things with stem cells and DNA, and you know what I mean? So with that being said, think about a civilization that has hundreds of years, thousands of years. They can make themselves look any way they want. And if you want to look at this on a spiritual aspect, you could say the mushroom is in a karmaless niche because it's what is it? It was coprophilic. Excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. Be the correct word. I'll Google it afterwards. I can't. I'm going off the top here. And they grow on dung, basically, of animals on the savannah or whatever from the grasslands. So long story short, he's giving out all these things like, which I've never seen any literature anywhere. So if anybody has literature that can prove this, he says that psilocybin, right? If you were looking for a molecule, if you were looking for an alien, you will look for a molecule that doesn't fit with the ecology of the planet. I've been looking for data everywhere about this particular topic where psilocybin, which is, if I butcher this, I'm sorry, which is phosphorylated phosphoxy and dimethyltryptamine, and that there's no molecule on the planet that has phosphorus, and I think it's like on the 4 parts of the indole ring or something like that. My organic chemistry is rusty. I haven't been, you know what I mean? It's been years since I did organic chemistry, but it had something to do with the phosphorus rings and the amount that were attached to the molecule in psilocybin, and has DMT attached to it, and there's no molecule that we know of, and that we know of as human beings that we've discovered so far that acts like that. That's like the thumbprint of an alien. If you're looking for an alien, you look for a molecule that doesn't fit with the ecology of the planet. Then you start talking about the material that covers the spore. If you want to look at it on a religious standpoint, like the chakras, it's like the crown chakra, the indigo color, that type of material covers the spore, so the spore becomes extremely impervious, so it can like fly through space for like millions of years until it reaches a surface that's conducive enough for it to survive and manifest and become to live, basically. What else? He was talking about it heightens visual acuity. So basically, if you are a hunter-gathering tribe and you're taking psilocybin, you're going to have a hunting advantage over the people who aren't. And it has CNS arousal, so you're going to breed more, you're going to be better hunters, you're going to be healthy, because we know now in present day that it produces immunological properties, anti-inflammatory and antiviral. And we know it can produce new neural pathways in the brain. It can get rid of self-deprecating patterns of thought, or help digress with that. It can do a lot of things that they probably wasn't analyzing, but they were still reaping the benefits of taking it. And then we know if you take high doses, you have like a crazy experience. So he was tying all these things together. I'm leaving a lot out too, but he was tying all these things together. I was like, oh shit, I've never heard any of this ever. Then he would break down polyidos and glaucos. You know what I mean? The story of that, what's the other story? Gilgamesh and Enkidu. And he would just do story time, and he would tickle my linguistic fancy. It's funny because a woman said that in one of the lectures he did. It's the lecture Ethnobotany and Shamanism. I forget which weekend it is. It's the weekend because it's like Friday A, Friday 1A, Friday 2A, then it's Saturday 1A, Saturday 2B, and then Sunday. It's like a 3-day weekend. It's on a lecture. And I forget which one. It's the one where people are introducing themselves. I listen to so much Terence Mckenna. I listen to thousands of hours of Terence Mckenna, like easily. I've listened to him like since my early 20s, since I was like 19. Keep it 100 with you, since I was like 19, and I'm 35 now. It's doing for years. I have his whole discography on like my flash drive right here. I have like this whole discography on my flash drive. Like it's on my phone. Like I'm on my phone now. I would show you, but I'm on, like every lecture. I have it to the point where I've listened to lectures numerous times, and I'll put the times down and what he said at the times. So then I need a reference, and I'll go like read a book like DMT Entity Encounters. Oh, we're gonna talk about this one, but I have a couple of books over here. I have the LSD and DMT ayahuasca. No, it's backwards. I'm sorry. I got a bunch of books over here. Enochian magic, which is dope. Enochian magic, because Enoch, right, is Hermes Trismegistus, but then Hermes Trismegistus is Tahuti. Tahuti is from Egypt, right? And where Egypt get, because Egypt is the youngest daughter of Ethiopia. People don't know that. People just, oh, it's Egypt. No, that's the youngest daughter of Ethiopia. Ethiopia had mad daughters, meaning that the knowledge spread from Ethiopia, basically flourished in all these places. I got this book. I love this book, The Secrets of the Pyramids. Did you know that if you put a razor in the pyramids or a razor next to a model of the Cheops pyramids, it'll ionize the crystals in the razor, so it'll stop it from getting dull? I'll show you right now. If I can find the page, I think it's 276. I'm guessing right now. I have no markers or anything. You'll see. But I've read this book so many times. I'm thinking I could be wrong. 277. It's 278. Oh, I was close. It's 278. I was close. But right here, placing a used razor blade within a 6-inch high cardboard model of the Cheops pyramids orientated to true north. Oh, you got to orientate it to true north. Forgot about that. Jabal found that the edges of the blade automatically recovered their sharpness after use, that he could shave with one Gillette blue blade as many as 200 times. He concluded that the environment inside the pyramid somehow made the crystals in the blade return to their original form. Dribble was issued patent number 913014 by the Czechoslovakian Patent Office and began manufacturing Cheops Pyramids razor blade sharpeners. Things that make you go, But yeah, there's like all types of knowledge like this out there. And this isn't even like common knowledge like people know, which you should know. But, you know, there's plenty of that out there. And I have books upon books. Like, you should see my bookshelves. They're like my pride and joy. But, yeah, so basically that's how I got into Terence Mckenna. His just ideas. He tickles my linguistic fancy. Back what I was talking about with the woman in the weekend. And I got off topic. But, yeah, the ethnobotany and shamanism, if you can find it, I'll try to find an audio clip maybe one day and, like, just post it on my playlist. And it was like, she was like, yeah, I'm only here at the lecture because he tickles my linguistic fancy. And it kind of sounded like Kathleen Harrison, like his ex-wife. But I don't know. That was just speculation. I can't make that a fact. But this book is pretty dope. The first chapter was about Pablo Maringo. And he was a shaman, or he used to be an ayahuasquero. And then he became a painter. And it's pretty phenomenal. This book deals with cross-cultural references and cross-cultural references of people encountering DMT entities and the knowledge that they acquire there and bring it back. And is this knowledge plausible? And if so, if not, what makes this happen? And not necessarily what makes this happen, how are people healing people in the rainforest? And maybe the ethnography that these people have been saying for all these years is true once Western civilization science finally catches up with quote unquote mysticism or shamanism, once we can rationally explain, because the materialists and rationalists have to have a concrete basis for them to go off of, because all of our social sciences are based off of that. Not even social sciences, our physical sciences as well. All that stuff is based off. Like, for instance, people rarely ever mention Kurt Gödel, ever. And we already know what Kurt Gödel's idea presented. And if you don't know, Google Kurt Gödel and his incompleteness theorem, or as Terence likes to say, his incrementability theorem. And it's literally called Gödel numbers. Like, Google Gödel, he already proved that systems within itself, if they have two, it's like the liar's paradox. I'm going to try to explain this correctly. If you have if you have a statement that's both true and false, it can't be true or false. It can be neither. You know what I mean? Or it's automatically false. Basically, what he's saying is that mathematics can have problems within itself that cannot be proven, type of thing. So go Google Kurt Gödel and look him up. It's a lot of information out there. Maybe I'll do a video and expand on Kurt Gödel and what he really meant in the incompleteness theorem, or Ilya Prigozhin's chaos thermodynamics. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and he just basically presented all that on a platter. And I've never experienced intellectual onslaught like that before. It's like, what? Who's John D? The Showstone, ethnography, the Shipibo, ayahuasca. I was like, what is all? But you gotta think about it. At this time, I knew none of this. I'm like, what is this stuff? What is he talking about right now? People seeing entities, healing in the jungle, without a stethoscope, without running water. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, it was so paradigm shattering to my current state of belief that I like couldn't grasp what he was saying. It was like my mind wanted to reject it. Like, this sounds preposterous. Sounds like sorcery. You know what I mean? Like, I was raised like my mom, my grandma's a reverend, so I was raised in the Christian house that I'm inoculated now, but you know, growing up, I had a lot of questions that I couldn't understand or no one could answer for me. Or I had a lot of things I didn't understand that led to questions no one could answer for me. But I don't want to make this video too long. I basically wanted to tell you like how I discovered Terence Mckenna and how his train of thought influenced me as a human being to want to learn more about the ecology of our planet and how us as human beings relate to everything we literally see in the world, and us putting up boundaries or create all boundaries are illusions and creating these illusionary boundaries based on cultural paradigms and preferences. We get lost in dogmatic features or feats of living, and really what we should really be focused on is the harmony in the community and us are living our lives, our orgasms, our laughs, our cries, our heartfelt moments, our time we spent with our loved ones, riding on a bike, riding on a street on on a bike with your loved ones is like priceless at this point. Once you truly discover the things that move you in this world, because you only have a limited amount of time. I know we don't like to talk about our corporeality, but yo, it's for real. We only got a certain amount of time, so get with the program. I don't want to make this grim, but spend your time doing the shit you love because it's pointless wasting it. A Buddha-Sattvic compassion quote, if there is a way to overcome the suffering, then there's no need to worry. If there is no way to overcome the suffering, then there's no use in worrying.